already tried CNC machining before and there's just too much involved. It's not that you're not able to get it. You might be missing just a few key pieces. It's kind of like if I were to, I don't know, plop you in the middle of a field and say, hey, I need you to go milk a cow over there. All you have to do is pull on the teat. And I come back a few hours later and I see you completely frustrated because the one cow you found only had one teat and you ain't getting no milk. Chances are you're milking a bull. But you wouldn't know you're milking a bull if I hadn't told you, which cows to milk. So it's not that you can't do it, it's that you just don't have that information you need to do it successfully. And by the way, if you do find yourself milking a single teated cow, don't drink the milk, okay? It's not like modern art or anything for aerospace, so don't really care if it's super fancy or not. It's just cornhole. So, okay, before we get to the machines, I need to introduce you to our shop management team. The gentleman with the gray and handsome salt and pepper beard is Diesel. He's 9. He's been with me for about 7 years, and Clutch is the newest member of our admin team. We just got her this spring from an awesome rescue down in Texas. Their major function is to keep me company, keep me busy, standard management stuff, pass judgment on me when I mess up, right guys? All right. Basically, you're just kind of reorienting the machine so it knows where it is. Kind of like I will be reorienting myself, I'm sure, on Monday morning after a full day of tailgating and watching the Packers. One thing I forgot to mention before I do this thing is if you watch my other videos, you'll probably recall me saying that Lena here, she doesn't suck because she ain't got no vacuum table. All right, on to my girl Lena here. So Lena weighs in at a hefty 900 pounds. She's actually a CNC router. She was designed to chow predominantly on woods and plastics, although she does occasionally enjoy dining on some aluminum from time to time. The big difference between Oli and Lena here is that even though Lena has a considerable amount more weight, she's like me, most of her junk's in her trunk. So that's where most of her weight is after a full day of tailgating, footballing, and celebrating. In fact, the fellas managed to sink their bags into a few cornholes along the way. And as we like to say at Wrench Wench Works, that's what Cheese had. As far as how fast he can spin that there tool, he can spin it at 10,000 RPMs, which, just so you know, is way faster than I can spin with my head on a baseball bat at a family reunion. So you're probably thinking, Jenny, why the heck are you standing on your machine? It's not safe. Don't worry, we're e-stopped. And I just like to say that I'm a girl out standing in my field to spin in this little guy. And you are right, which is why we've got this little doohickey here. This is called a tailstock. What's a tailstock? Tailstock is actually just there to support the tail of the end of a longer piece. If you don't have a tailstock in there, I want you to kind of envision like putting a 1-inch workpiece in here and hanging that out 10 inches. That's a pretty significant amount of hangout, especially on something that's only about that big. What can happen is, especially on softer materials, if you get it whipping around at the max RPM that Sven is capable of, which is 5,000 RPM, that material can actually bend. And the next thing you know, that unsupported material is whipping around like a wet noodle, and it can be a major danger. So today I'm going to use Lena. Lena is my largest machine tool. All my other machine tools do have the same components, and the startup procedure is going to be basically the same. The reason I'm using Lena is for multiple reasons. First of all, she's my biggest machine tool. I have the best access to her control cabinet so that I can do kind of a little bit of a breakdown of the different components that are at play during the startup. And also because she is so big, she makes my butt look smaller. It's going to be the same case here, but we're going to use the whole Cartesian coordinate system here. So with this little genome and doodad, you'll notice that every direction with the sticky outy parts is going to be positive. Blue represents Z, so up is Z plus, No idea where in space, where on this whole machine all the axes are. It's kind of like waking up on Saturday morning after a really good Friday night fish fry where you maybe had one or two too many old fashions or shots of Januvka. It needs, I'm going to go ahead and bring her down nice and slow. You never want to bring her down on the block, and it's part of the reason we're wearing safety glasses. Anytime I'm going down on anything or there's a chance I could get something in the eye, I throw these on. But so I'd like to apologize for the audio in this last segment. As it turns out, I am a bit of a brute apparently, and I went to pull out my microphone dongle and managed to break it off into 3 pieces with just a wee little tug. So I'm kind of going sans microphone for this last part, but it is. That you hear. How a relay works is we have all these wires kind of coming in from the top and the bottom, and you'll see there's kind of a little pushy button here. Well, when you energize the contact block, so right now it's not energized, and so all those wires are kind of separated, but when you energize the contact block, what you hear is that clunk as it goes in, and now the wires are all touching and it closes that circuit. So, oh, and I'm supposed to say something about hitting the little ring-a-ding bell or the smashing one of the buttons. So go ahead and smash that button that you're supposed to smash if you like this so far. And if you don't like it, no pressure, but maybe you'll come back and find that you want to smash that later. That's perfectly fine with me. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my little friends.